if we get to 4 o'clock and no deal was done, the thing that Brad Holmes needs, if no deal is done, is to know. It's almost like he needs to float out there what the asking price was, which nobody ever does.
No, I mean he can simply say, look, the asking price was just too high for us. We did not feel comfortable in doing that, and I think you do that. I think you said it to protect yourself, and particularly when it comes to a player that wasn't traded after all. Like, he didn't go to anywhere else.
Right.
And they're like, look, we tried to make it happen with a couple of people, but the asking price was just too high. And in the end, those players weren't moved at the deadline. So I don't know how serious the other side was. You could say something like that, and that, I think, appeases a fan base. The problem you run into is when a player that everybody covets ends up getting traded to somebody else. Like if Trey Hendrickson goes for a second-round pick, to San Francisco, that I think would rile fans up here.
Right. And if you could say, well, San Francisco wanted our first Cincinnati wanted our first, but because they think San Francisco's second is going to be better than Detroit's second, then you could say, well, why didn't Detroit offer a second and a sixth?
Well, that's the thing.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Or a pick swap later in the draft. Like you can sweeten it without not going the whole first rounder. I mean, I do find it Hendrickson's probably the one player that I'm not even sure he would help them.
The Lions?
Yes, but I'm not sure. First of all, he's got to be healthy, and let's keep that in mind. He was out of the game this past Sunday, and he's been dealing with a hip injury. That there's some speculation that he might have come back too soon, and that he might be out longer term here, which should not be dismissed. That's a huge factor. If you trade for Trey Hendrickson, you win the day, but you don't want to lose the trade. But I do find it curious. Hey, man, it's trade deadline day. There is less than 6 hours to go, and nobody's given up a first-round pick for Trey Hendrickson yet. Why hasn't it happened yet? If you had a deal in place to get Trey Hendrickson and you were willing to give up a first-round pick, wouldn't you want to pull the trigger and not? Maybe Cincinnati's holding out for a better offer, but it feels to me as though, and they just unloaded a linebacker this morning to Dallas. Look out, here come the Cowboys.
Well, right. I mean, they unloaded a linebacker, so that's from their defensive side, which is already their bad side. And this is a team that scored 80 points in the last 2 games and lost them both.